Hi, everyone. Maybe we're live already. We'll get started shortly. Thanks for watching. If you're catching this channel for the first time, we do live streams regularly. I channel my spirit guide and they deliver messages. And you can ask personal questions. You can join in Zoom. The Zoom link always goes into the live chat. And some other things maybe go into the live chat as well. We take live questions. Some people email me questions. We don't really take those questions. I'm so sorry. If people are clients that come for private sessions on occasion, I will take the emailed questions, but we ask that you're here live. What am I looking for? Sorry, it takes a minute to set up if you're watching the replay. But bear with me. Okay. So if you're in the Zoom room, just make sure when you're not speaking that you're muted, and we take the questions as they come after the initial transmission, and you can also type your questions in the live chat box. I just released a book of transcripts of the channeling sessions over the past decade. You can find it in the chat on Amazon. Let me know what you think. It allows you to integrate this information in a quicker way when you can read it and look back to it. You'll find also that synchronistically, when you open to a page, there's something waiting for you there. And this book is a journey that guides you through the Pleiadian Council's core messages and more and beyond. I'm honestly a little bit tired today, so I think I just need to start diving in without saying too much from me. I have some projects in the works that I've released these channeled books, but I've also written some books in connection with my own higher self from my perspective. And that is something that I can't wait to get into the world. With that said, I know that as I finish those projects, there's a whole new chapter and a whole new world out there. So there will be different things happening in the channel. And one thing I'm seeing coming potentially soon is a different sort of Zoom meeting that isn't necessarily channeling with the Pleiadian Council, but is a kind of coaching where we can work with energy healing and helping you to ask yourself the right questions, to find that connection with your higher self, to find healing breakthroughs and cultivate that own uh, inner curiosity and open-mindedness to discover what your blind spots might be. It's kind of running on the vein of other healing modalities that I've explored a lot in ways that I work with some one-to-one clients and coaching, but to do it in a group setting. So in addition to the live streams, eventually that is going to be something that I share, and I don't actually know when I'm going to get the signal to start doing it, but it will eventually happen because they told me it will. So let's begin. Hello, and we say a fantastic day to you at this moment. We are the Pleiadian Council. We speak on behalf of Galactic Alliance, supporting your planet in a process of grand evolution in co-creation with beings like ourselves, your own angelic counterparts, and parallel incarnations across this vast galaxy. Together, through these co-creations, we interweave some of your reality with our own, and you can come to shift perspectives through the connection the new ideas and insights we offer. And so in this transmission, we want to discuss the idea of channeling as a form of energy or vibrational medicine. And in essence, this is what many sorts of spiritual, psychological, or somatic therapists do. They offer to you a frequency of a particular energy that you can choose to resonate with and attune to. It's the adjustment of your entire mind and way of being, allowing the shift in consciousness to bring your own belief systems to start to shift to a higher resonance. This frequency that healers offer is a permission slip. It's an opportunity for you to see perhaps what might be some of the beliefs and patterns that are dissonant and contrasting to the frequency that is being presented to you at the time. Which frequencies are dissonant? Where does that resistance show up? And in that moment, the process of healing begins as you choose to rewrite those outdated ideas, those places where fear, self-doubt, and delusion still obscure your own perception of special hidden details, or in other cases, the big picture. And as you allow your eyes to be open in the process, you create a space where a new version of you can be birthed. Thus, these messages that we share are a particular vibrational frequency. And it is in more than just listening them, but making them a part of who you are, that the healing is complete. When an idea that we share with you becomes second nature to you, and you feel it emotionally resonating through you at all times, you know that you've integrated that frequency and that particular energy medicine, and it becomes a part of your pharmacy, so to speak, so that when you see others in need, this can also be a medicine that you give to them. These inner truths of your connection to the source, your ability to expand your own perception, the conscious choice to overwrite beliefs, and the willingness to surrender completely to the guiding force of your heart is what allows you to be properly attuned to the constant, ever-present guidance of your own higher self. This is arising initially as a felt sense of a presence. The yogis describe it as the Shakti, the presence of life force and emotions surging through the body. You may describe it as a feeling or sensation of energy arising within parts of your body, perhaps connected to what you call a chakra system. Oftentimes, this energy will arise initially first in the heart or in the crown center. The connection ripples into the heart, and an expansive sense of bigness emerges from within you. Simultaneously, you may find places and parts of your body that contract in contrast to that sense that within your heart exists an entire world. Just as much you could feel at the top of your head a buzzing, a sort of encompassing feeling, a sense of greater connection as different parts of your brain light up as a mere reflection to the way that your own physical mind aligns directly with the higher mind or the soul as you enter into states of channeling. Because remember, if channeling really is working as an energy medicine, you're not just hearing words. It's an inner experience that brings you just as much into a sort of channeling. And in this way, you're not only receiving information from the channel who is speaking, but the channel presents a portal for you to establish the contact with your own higher self. Just as much communication with your higher self takes place through this subtle transmission of sensations, energies that you may pick up with some of your psychic senses, like clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. And so, in that state, you begin to absorb even more information, even more particular messages come specifically to you. You may not understand the messages right away because the guides can only work with the language of your own subconscious. And for this reason, a message may simply be a sensation and a feeling. The only thing you may need to know is that feeling of presence. And by taking that feeling with you after the channeling transmission, the energy medicine carries within your soul, bringing a greater realization. Perhaps the message is simply a voice that doesn't sound so too different from your own. Oftentimes, the message is very simple. This is because your guides have to direct you to a state in which you are grounded in order for the more complex and encompassing messages to be delivered. So the messages that you receive will never be profound until you find that state of balance. If you experience a great state of stress or disturbance, you might simply get very basic messages from your guides, like drink water now. And you must equally not discount this because you have to listen to the whispers. And if you do, you will be able to attune more deeply to the details. And as you come into that grounded and balanced state, the messages get louder, clearer, and more direct. Now, when you are receiving a particular message from a channeled being, it is important to recognize that the integration of that message is what allows you to take the next step. It's as if on the progress of your own soul, you are continually climbing a staircase. Each stair is like a particular lesson or message. The message doesn't necessarily have to come from a channeler. It can come from a friend in your life, a teacher, your partner, a family member. It can even come from someone that you don't necessarily like very much. It's about keeping your ears open and recognizing that the universe is speaking to you through all of its parts, and all of its parts are one. Now, in this way, when you have your ears open and you're willing to do the work to make the change, then the medicine fully takes effect. If you just listen to the message and feel hopeful in the moment, but don't act upon it, it's like going to the doctor, getting a prescription, but never going to the pharmacy to get it filled in the first place. And so if you want to progress, you have to ask yourself continuously, am I integrating the changes that my higher self is showing me I need to make through all of the ways that it can communicate to me? Because remember, Dante is not the only channel here. You are all channels, even if you may not feel connected to your Pleiadian guides or necessarily want to explore that. You are channeling your own higher self in the moments that you allow yourself to flow, in the moments that you found that access to serendipity, spaciousness, and a heart open state. Your higher self has played a role in getting you there. And if you look back and you think about what did it take for me to create that experience for myself. You get key insight into what personally works for you to return to the flow state. Again, returning to what we always repeat and guide you to completely implement. Act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability without insisting on a particular outcome. In other terms, follow your heart's calling and do it with all the resourcefulness and expertise that is within you. And have no attachment to whatever happens continuously. Say it whatever way you want and do it the way that you want to do it. That is the point. Yet in the process, just as much, recognize when you are presented certain obstacles in the form of people that don't necessarily agree with you, but you nonetheless share a destiny. You must come to question, is this person actually my teacher right here and now? Is there an ego part in me that's preventing me from hearing my higher self speak to me through that source? Because until you can really co-create and honor the true needs of all others involved in the process, you don't allow yourself to be the completely expansive soul that you are. Remember, no one is really an individual. You are all the universe being channeled through a physical body that is just a residence for the bigger you. And of course, this resonance is on a level also you, and on another level, you are also beyond it. Learn in the process that whenever you speak in absolutes, you prevent yourself from seeing multidimensional reality. Multidimensional reality means that from every perspective you view any phenomena, the phenomena appears differently. And so you are a phenomena. You must perceive yourself from many different levels. And as you do, your own sense of who you are expands. That doesn't mean you become something bigger and better, though in some ways you may. But if you get attached to the idea of being something better, then the ego hijacks the process and takes you back into that limited and constricted state. So the expansion must be done for the sake of expansion itself, for the sense of openness and the joy of curiosity in the experimental process of discovering who you are. And in that way, you can see life is constantly giving you little downloads and little doses of medicine. And there's always an opportunity to integrate a new idea when you see something from a new angle. And so don't just see us as the energy that's being channeled. Come to recognize that your own higher mind is being channeled through the living flow of events that happen within you and around you in each moment. So more thanks to you, and we ask, can we be of support in any way with any of your questions, comments, musings, or inquiries, beginning whenever you would like.
All right. There's some people in the Zoom room, and I believe at least one of them's got questions. But I also have two questions we can start out with. You mentioned a couple of weeks ago the importance of hope and how it was the most important thing. And I'm curious, I saw that there was someone arguing that hope requires three things. One is control, values, and community. And I was wondering if there's something missing in this sort of psychological definition of hope, and if there's any higher dimensional ingredient that makes hope generative instead of just comforting.
Well, we would say it isn't merely comforting, it's what gives you fluidity in the first place. If you were not at all hopeful, would you even be inspired? It is about allowing yourself to have positive expectations without attachment. That is very much in alignment with what you commonly call hope. So by recognizing that your own expectations shape reality, you can ensure that you get the most out of hope. Consider the idea of what has been called in your world the Pygmalion effect. They instructed teachers to simply believe that certain students would do well. They gave teachers information about the wondrous intellectual capabilities of these students. Believing this, the teachers came to expect that. And the little ways that they treated the students differently as a result made them excel. And so, in this way, when we speak of hope, it's really about your own expectations and how subconsciously they influence everything. And this is how you can come to recognize that all overthinking is very self-destructive in its nature, because it is influencing the field around you through the expectations you're generating in the process. Now, does hope require community? Well, yes, absolutely, because you require community. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need other people to hope along with you in order for that hope to be beneficial. We need somebody to mute themselves, please, now. Yes, absolutely, because you require. Yes. So it is, yes, and recognizing that your relationships help you stay in balance, to see yourselves, to see blind spots, to work towards goals together. And so in this way, your shared hope is important, but also you don't necessarily have to have the same expectations as everyone else around you for the power of your own hope to have a positive impact. So a hope is just as much about that attitude of looking for the best in others and recognizing that the way that you communicate and the way that you see others shapes them.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much. And my follow-up question is, um, somebody tried to frame hope as something we create because we can't tolerate chaos. And so I'm interested in your perspective, is true hope like an escape from chaos, or is it more a way to alchemize it?
Well, remember that surrender is not a letting go of control. It's a letting go of all of the control that you don't have. And so to actually embody surrender, you have to take control of the things that you do have. This is your own choices, your own deliberate thoughts, your own words. And when you direct these towards a greater good, then a hope is part of the process of visualizing an outcome and moving towards it. So we would say that there can be delusional hopes, what you might call bypassing. And this sort of bypassing is very different than genuine grounded hope. A real hopefulness looks for real tangible evidence and makes sure that it is not in denial of rational information and rational thinking. Yet it just as much opens to intuition and recognizes that the balance of both is where clarity begins. So ungrounded hope is denying logic because it seems either too complex or too difficult to figure out. And this ungrounded hope is a sort of self-protection from, yes, you could say chaos, but it's really a protection from one's own fears and sense of loss.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And let's see if there's somebody in the Zoom room who wants to jump in.
All right.
And thank you very much for this opportunity. I really appreciate this and the energy and wisdom you bring forth. Last night in a channeling session I was doing, the group that I channel, one of the groups that I channel brought in a galactic healer. And I had never heard of that term, but the energy was very powerful and helped all that were in attendance to feel that energy that they could heal beyond dimensions through their ancestors, their descendants, and their counterparts. And it was more of an activation. I was wondering if you could tell me anything about the galactic healers or their energy, please.
Well, this particular guide of yours is working with the ancestral lines and the genetic code. There is both the human genetic code and there's a certain level of spiritual DNA that is what you might consider the energetic structure of your connection to your parallel incarnations. And so some of your guides are, in that sense, your own parallel incarnations, and their connection to you is allowing for that transmission of energies between parallel realities for a holistic synergy of your energy, their energy together to resolve some of the karmic imprints that you may have in common. Just as much as you work with channeling in multidimensional energies, your guides often come in to allow you to see things from their perspective as a way to let go of many of the limitations of your own beliefs and see the human experience with some more levity and from a vantage point that lets you see the smallness of some of your problems. In that way alone, many of the issues resolve. Just as much sometimes when you see the largeness of some of the patterns that you've inherited, you also give yourself more grace and take it a little bit easier on yourself, knowing that your soul has been working with some of these patterns lifetime after lifetime, and your ancestral line has been clearing up some of these behaviors generation after generation, helps you to recognize that you're not alone in this process. And beings of this nature help you to see yourself in that much bigger framework.
Excellent. I appreciate that perspective. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Any other one on Zoom who wants to ask a question? Please go ahead.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, yes, welcome.
I would like to ask, last time, 2 times actually, happened to me that you have canceled our conversation. And I wonder what emotion or what was the reason for this cancellation? You are not anymore excited about it, or what happened on your side?
Because you needed to integrate the energy medicine of what we said. The resistance to it was part of the reason why things were not changing. And so we were simply no longer interested in that idea of resistance, knowing as well that that resistance can reinforce resistance in some of those viewing the transmission. Just as much as when the Bashar or any channel is clearly done with a conversation, it means that the medicine has been delivered, the message has been dispensed. It's now up to you to decide whether or not you can hear it and integrate it in your life. So if we ever say, okay, we're done now, it means in what we've already said, your question has been answered. If you still choose not to hear it, you need to do some deeper searching and come back to us.
Mm-hmm. So you did not see any other options to deliver the message?
No.
Okay, thank you very much.
We, again, knew that there was no point in dealing with resistance when you needed to listen and integrate that message already. All of the answer had been given. So it is more important to take that message and sit with it and question, what are the beliefs that are in the way of making this idea a part of who I am?
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. That's what I need to do. Thank you very much.
Yes. And just as much, in these spaces, we want to make sure that everyone has equal time to ask their first question. And after that, we can get back to those who have more to contemplate.
Hello, Pleiadian Council. Thank you for being here.
Oh, yes, our thanks to you as well for being with us.
I would like to know, as much as you can describe, the difference between galactic and angelic frequencies or beings.
Angelic frequencies are of a non-physical nature, meaning that they have existence as a form of consciousness that is connected to your own and connected to the source. They are sort of high-level intermediary between the source and other realms of consciousness. And so just as much in that way, galactics and other different types of consciousness use angels as a bridge to connect with the source. When you feel that presence of a golden shimmering energy that flows through you in these different states of consciousness, you can know that the angels are around. Often they just as much communicate with the idea of feathers and wings and a halo of light surrounding the body. This halo represents the portal from one level of consciousness to another. And in this way, angels are a bridging force that allows for all of the different entities that exist in the multiverse to be able to co-create with each other. Through your own subconscious minds, you conjure images that allow you to interpret the energy signatures of different beings. And so your own subconscious has anthropomorphized angels into human forms as a way for you to get to know them and understand them. And thus, in this way, the visions that you see of beings like Archangel Michael are symbolic representations of a real energy. And you can know the image as a representation of the energy, and the energy just as much to be something much bigger and more profound. The idea of galactics being that we are incarnate in physical locations, yet we also have a quasi-physical existence, meaning that our reality is very much like your dreams, where time and space is more amorphous and can be shaped by intention and will alone. And thus, in conjunction with our technologies, we have the ability to navigate time and space and, in some senses, craft it. We have both a physicalized expression and the ability to telepathically connect to and even bilocate to different locations on other planes. And thus, we connect to you through the same channels that the angels connect to you with, though our expression in our reality is different for us, if that makes sense to you.
It does. Thank you very much. So you mentioned something about, can I ask a follow-up?
Yes.
Okay. So you mentioned something about golden light being the angelic frequency, and often we get a white light.
Yes.
Can you talk about the different colors of light and what they mean?
The white light is the all-encompassing energy of the source. As source is the source of all things and is simultaneously one with all things, the white light is representing the full spectrum of light, and all of the diversity is contained within it. Often, this white light can be refracted through prisms to also create a sense of rainbow light. The more golden light is connected to what you might consider a enlightened consciousness, a Christic consciousness from some perspectives. It is connected to the idea of the sun's golden energy and the idea that your realm is at a soul level linked with the consciousness of the sun. The sun is an expression of consciousness that gives you life, and information from the source is transmit through the sun's light into your body. And in this way, the golden light is reflective of the life-giving consciousness of the source. And it is the quality and color of energy that represents the idea of the path to enlightenment, or what some call ascension.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Yes, you as well.
Pleiadians, I have a follow-up question to the previous amazing things about hope,
Yes.
which is that somebody mentioned that they believe that hope is always built on a story. And I was wondering if it's possible to experience hope without a story, maybe purely as a state of being.
Well, another important addendum, you could say, to the formula is to remain in a positive state no matter what. And hope is one way of saying that. So you don't necessarily need to attach to a specific idea of an outcome in order to be hopeful for experiences like being in a receptive state. You can hope that you are balanced, receptive, relaxed. You can hope that you feel better. You can hope that you have the tools to move through your life with ease and joy. You don't have to hope for a material experience or a specific experience in order to hope to simply feel better. And oftentimes that is the first step, because so much of your miseries arise from your insistence and attachment on specific things that you want. Oftentimes it's not that you can't get those things, it's that you have to get to those things a different path. And sometimes the path might even look like walking all the way around the thing a couple of times before you actually get to it. And that's actually okay from the perspective of your higher self. And so when you let go of the way that you think on a physical level, everything needs to happen, and trust in your higher self, that's an expression of hope. You need to be somehow willing to take the courageous step onto what your heart excites you to do. And that in and of itself involves a level of hope. You have to be so hopeful that you may continue to experience joy in the moment when you choose to do what your heart guides you to do. And so we are not sure why anyone could argue against hope from that perspective. It is essential to actually doing the thing that we've essentially laid as the foundation, as have other channeled beings.
Thank you so much. Let's see if there's more questions from the Zoom room. I don't see any written questions, so the channel mentioned that he felt a little bit tired. So if there's not any more questions from the Zoom room, maybe that's it for tonight.
All right, we can take some more questions if there are there.
Okay, I'll ask one more. Thank you very much for the
All right.
opportunity. In enlarging my view in my identity of self to encompass not only the earth, but all of my incarnations that I'm aware of and not aware of, is what would be the next step of growth from there?
Why would you want to embody all of your incarnations? Do you realize how many of them there are?
Oh, I have no idea, and I kind of like keeping it that way because I'm not meant to hold all that information now. I
Yeah.
am more trying to gather more into that heart space and support it with the love energy that I can that comes through me.
Well, notice this, that as you shift between states of consciousness and parallel realities in your own experience, the other versions of yourself, you could say, future and past lifetimes, shift and change as well. So as your vibration changes, the signals that you're attuned to on the walkie-talkies between your different lifetimes also switches. So there might be some states of consciousness in which you're dialed to particular guides and other states of consciousness in which you're dialed to other guides. And actually, it's better if you learn how to choose one dial at a time so that the specific intent and personality of each guide can be uniquely expressed. Oftentimes in the initiation to channeling, the guides will present themselves as fused as a way for you to be able to expand, to integrate both of their energies at the same time. Over time, you might experience them gradually unfuse, where you can get to know their distinct personalities and the distinct ways that each of them can deliver a particular frequency and a particular message, unlike the others. Now, just as much on this path, these different guides can show up synchronistically at times that are related to both their reality and the theme in your life that your agreement is to help you both explore. So you need to pay attention when you feel a particular guide is showing up, as it is connected to a shift in your own energy and something that is playing out in the world around you oftentimes.
Excellent. I appreciate that perspective, and I look forward to connecting with the other portions of myself which are relevant in this experience through the future Pleiadians that I channel, which have offered to do that and have done that in the past. Thank you.
There's many other guides for you to meet, as you know. So if that's what excites you, open the door and get to see what's coming inside.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks to you as well.
I'd love to ask one more question if you have time.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm fascinated with plasma and how this universe is made up of almost entirely of plasma and types of plasma. And I wondered what the Pleiadians have to say about that and how to explain that. And how we use it, the plasma, with our thoughts.
This plasma is, you could say, one of the first emanations of that idea of what you sometimes call the Big Bang, and this birthing of this particular universe. And in this way, it's sort of like the building block of consciousness itself. And so there is a resonant frequency that is emit through the plasma and through things like solar flares that create a change and a charge in the solar systems where those emanations take place. Just as much, there is a interlinked chain of consciousness so that solar flares are equally synchronized with effects that are taking place in other stars linked to your sun. And so in this way, it isn't just a solar system pulse, it is actually a galactic pulse of information when the solar flares come in. And oftentimes this is very destabilizing because through this plasma, the information that helps humanity and other beings reach the next octave is coming through. And in order for that to happen, the patterns that cannot be brought with you up to that next octave have to be in a way cleansed. You can do that in a variety of ways. And by making sure that you create a safe space to return to ease, peace, and calm in your own way, you can allow these waves to pass. It's simply a matter of knowing that when these energies become activated, there needs to be a process of integration. When the disturbance arises, there's nothing wrong with it per se. It simply means a new integration needs to take place. This plasma is just as much a web in the background. And there is a special way that the plasma and the dark matter become like the pieces of a sort of multidimensional checkerboard. The shadows and lights and the spaces in between they create allows for a sort of movement of energy to take place just as much between the realms.
Thank you again. And as usual, I am going to have to listen again to understand, to get as much as possible out of it. So thank you again, and thank you to Dante as well.
Yes, all right, thanks to you as well. Will that be all? All right, then we wish you a fantastic rest of your day. We thank you for allowing this transmission to take place, as it opens up a bridge between our realities, allowing both you and ourselves to expand in our connection to the source. So continue to allow the channel to be open and for you to receive the energy medicine that the universe is constantly giving you through experiences of contrast and the lessons involved. All as opportunities to come to know yourself, to know your truth, and to communicate with care and awareness for all of the different details that life presents to you. Our great thanks, our unconditional love to you, and we wish you then a fantastic rest of your day. All right. Cool. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Dante, that was amazing.
And thank you.
Glad to hear that. Are you still on your trip or are you back now?
I'm back.
Oh, great.
Last night. Yeah.
How was it?
It was amazing.
Wow.
It was really amazing. And we went with the kids. We took the kids, so it was like 9 of us all like going through Rome. Oh, adult kids.
Yeah.
So it was fun to just experience through their eyes, and yeah, it was awesome. Thank you for asking. Where are you now, by the way?
Mexico.
Oh, Mexico. Okay. I knew you were in the States for a little while, so
No, not too far away still.
that's true.
Yeah. Beautiful. Anybody else want to say hi or share something?
Gratitude.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for coming and bringing your energy and questions today.
Yeah. Sorry I was late. I just saw it on my phone. I was like, oh, I want to hop on.
No worries.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a beautiful day, and thanks everyone for joining.
Nice
And
seeing you.
yeah, check out the latest books that I've released if you're curious. It's the transcripts from the channeling sessions over all the past years. So I'm really excited to get that out into the world. And yeah, more on the way. I think I'm going to be doing different kinds of Zoom meetings soon as well, to have more of like a sort of like an energetic coaching clearing session without channeling them per se, but more focused on a human level work where we ask you the questions rather than you ask me. So
That sounds fantastic. And I have one of your books.
oh
So
yeah.
do you have another one even more recent than that?
Yeah, so this one I haven't been promoting it so much because I have so much going on right now. It's been a little crazy. The latest book is called The Heart Flow Transmissions, and it is it's from the live sessions and the sessions that have been in person in YouTube videos, and it's like actually 36 of them that have been transcribed and compiled so that you can kind of like use them as a study material and go back and integrate the messages. It was something that came to me at a point to do, and I just felt like it was important to do it while I had the time and was thinking about it.
hmm I have that one. I
It
think.
just came out 2 weeks ago, though. No. You
Okay.
might,
Surprise.
I
yeah,
know. I'm like, wait. Okay, so you do have one. Okay. That's what
yeah,
I was confused about. I
yeah.
thought it was heart flow
Uh,
transmit. Okay,
Sorry,
perfect.
maybe it's kind of a little bit too confusing that the last one was called Heart First and this one's Heart Flow, but it all kind of happened like very spontaneously in the moment. So, but also I just feel like it was a little bit rushed because I've been doing a lot of different creative projects. So I have all of these ideas. Like I wrote an autobiographical book about my experience traveling the world and learning with different healers and everything
Oh,
else since I began channeling. And so I'm still finishing that. And I also wrote kind of like a personal guidance book integrating these different tools in the daily life and kind of, because I think that there's a lot of people in the more conventional world that like look down on channeling, but these messages that come through are very actually applicable. And so I kind of found a way to back what they talk about with empirical things for people who think that way, to open up a bridge, and also so that people who are on this path gain more tools. I've not just explored channeling, it's yoga, meditation, Reiki, shamanism, and then all of these different philosophies and books that I've read have really influenced me. And so I've wanted to weave that together as well. And I've had like now 2 or 3 months of a very deep creative burst. It's been super crazy. So there's a lot
Yeah.
coming out at once, and I don't even know how to like promote it all, but I'm not even there yet. I'm still in the process of finishing it. So that's why everything's a little bit topsy-turvy for me right now.
Well, it doesn't show. You're
Yeah.
just going on and
Yeah.
killing the world. I love it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I'll have to get that one.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Let me know what you think.
I will. I
Yay.
will. All right. Thanks, Dante, and nice meeting you, Ray.
Nice. Likewise, Jody. Thank you. And I will see Dante again on Sunday.
Oh,
Yay.
yeah, I'm going to be on the High Vibe channeling.
Yes.
Maybe get a link to that and put it in the description.
Okay. I can do that. You want me to comment on YouTube or here?
So yeah, everybody, you can check out heartflowtransmissions.com for information on the sessions, the books, the channeling course. I teach people how to channel and work with intuitive healing skills as a way to help other people and establish a practice. So if that's something you're interested in, I can do it one-to-one, do it in groups. I'm hoping to get another group together for the spring or the summer. So reach out if you're interested, and thanks for leaving the likes, the thumbs on the video. We love the thumbs and the comments and anything that helps us get to more people so that we can let the energy medicine get out there and heal the world. So thanks again, everyone, and we'll catch you next Friday for the next one. Bye for now.
Up to you. Thank you, Dante. Thank you for your help, Michael.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, for helping host with the questions.